think I got it. I think we might be on to something here. Oh yeah, I'm doing this. I guess we're building a scooter. So that being said, let's get after it. I'm gonna bend this frame tube up to eventually what's gonna be the forks at 70 degrees. I know that seems kind of steep, but I'm trying to keep the wheelbase short so this thing's not a mile long and it doesn't take forever to turn around. I'm probably doing this wrong, but this is the first time I've ever done something like this, and I've wanted to do it forever, so whatever, could be alright. If I like the way this one turns out, I'll repeat it, do it for the other side. So we've got two coming down from the forks and then going back towards the rear wheel. God, I need a bigger shop. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with that. So I go ahead and repeat this bend. I left plenty of length on it because I haven't really stuck with the length on it. Well, I think I did pretty good. I'm trying to figure out how wide my center supports need to be for these frame tubes. So I measured the width on the hub. Outside the bolt, is 8 inches. The stock axles are 9 inches long, so I'm just gonna cut it and meet it in the middle at 8.5. And what I'll do is mount these at 8.5 inches. My total frame width is going to be around 10.5. So I'll cut those, gonna break out the tube and pipe notcher, get those put up, put one here. I may do one further up this way, I'm not sure yet. This engine doesn't run, so I've got to figure out what style of engine I want to use. I'd prefer to stay with this because it's not as long. Predators are about twice that long. Probably like a GC 160 or a 190 from Honda. A friend of mine has some, says he'd sell me one for a decent price. Still got to figure out whether I'm going to go with a torque converter or clutch, but I can figure that later on. But for now, I'm just going to at least get the main frame done. First things first, I need to cut a couple 8.5 inch long center supports to go in here. And then we can do some welding. That's not bad fitment. I'm with it. Now I just need to cut out a few more of those and we might have a frame. All right, so I got a couple more cross braces cut out. This is all just sit in place. There's nothing tacked together. It's actually all held with this clamp. But I needed to figure out how I was going to attach the neck. Now I looked around in some of the stuff that I had out back and I do not have a neck that would fit with forks and all. I had a couple pit bikes back there, an old dirt bike. Nothing is wide enough to accommodate these wheels and tires, so I'm gonna have to make one. But I got a bender, I got a welder, so I'm gonna make it happen. What I did find though is an old BMX bike, so I salvaged the neck tube from it, so I've got the stem and everything. I'm gonna weld my forks on down here, and there's a piece up top to actually connect the handlebars, so that knocks out a lot of work for me. I've still got to make sure that this neck is straight. Now most people when they do this, they coat both of these tubes up into the neck tube. My tube notcher does not go to that much of an angle, so what I'm gonna do is press both of these closed. I've seen it done on a bunch of pit bikes. Actually, Doodlebug I believe does it on the end of their forks. So I'm just gonna pinch these closed, weld the ends, grind it down so it's nice and flat, and put those on either side of this, and then I'll have my forks. Luckily I have access to a shop press, but I cannot record there, so I'm gonna load this up, take it down the road, press them, come back. All right, got both of them pressed out flat. Now I'm gonna set this thing up and try and get my neck installed. So I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and tack in these pieces since I've got everything lined up. Just these two, because I'm not entirely sure where this one's gonna land yet. That way it's gonna make it a lot easier for me to adjust my neck tube, get everything set up like I wanted. Then I'll lift it up and start working on this front fork. Well, I think that's a fine use of a gear puller set and some strut compressors. I need to figure these forks out. Guess we'll get to break out the bender again. This is just to keep it square. This is gonna stay in 60-degree bend with plenty of room for the lift that I need as well as the tire. I'm gonna also use this top brace to hang the fender. So I'm gonna get this all lined up, make sure everything's getting square, weld it up. Obviously, I'll need a taller set of handlebars. I think this is gonna work. Dang, my shop is a mess. So am I. But the main frame is done. It's probably not gonna have this much ground clearance when I get done with it. This is just something I had sitting around to get it up off the floor. Also, these forks, I made them long on purpose. Until I determine what my fork angle is gonna be, I didn't wanna cut them too short and have to remake them. I'm also deciding on whether or not I'm gonna mount the axle under or over the frame. I'm really stoked with how well this turned out. I also haven't welded in my neck tube yet for the same reason. I've still got to figure out what my angle is going to be. Just look at it. It's cool. I have talked about wanting to buy a bender and do something like this for several years, and I finally did it. I actually had more fun building this than any other project we've probably done so far. This is one of those bucket list type things. I've still got a long way to go, still trying to figure out the motor situation. There's a lot of reinforcement that I'm gonna have to do to this thing. Mainly there's gonna be a tube going from here up to the neck tube, probably towards the top a little bit just to keep the flex down. Cut down these fork tubes, figure out how I'm gonna mount the rear wheel. I'm gonna need taller handlebars because those are just a hair too short. But I am stoked about this. I'm already planning the next one. Is that a bad thing? Man, I can't wait to ride this thing. This is gonna be fun. This is something I've been meaning to do. If you've ever been on a GoPed, it's a little two-stroke one. Those things are terrifying. And that's like a 25cc to a 50cc little two-stroke. This is gonna have like a 6-horse, like maybe like a 190 or 200, somewhere around there, with a clutch or a torque converter. I don't know yet. I'm probably gonna go with the clutch, but at the same time, wheeling on a scooter sounds kind of fun. Long way to go. I hope you like it so far. If you do, like and subscribe. Make sure you use the links in the description to pick up a t-shirt from Minibike Apparel. And until next time, y'all get out there, and get after it.